Now let's take a look at converting a fraction to a decimal and a decimal to a fraction. Hopefully this is somewhat of a review, but in case it's not, we're going to go through this. The important part to note is that for converting fractions to decimals, it's based on division. You have to take the numerator divided by the denominator. So it's top number divided by bottom number. The whole number is going to be the number before the decimal point. So the first problem saying 1/8 means 1 divided by 8. 8 can't go into 1, so we know we put a 0 on top, put a decimal, both top and bottom, and fill in a 0 below. 8 can go into 10 2 times. 8 can go into 10 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. We subtract and get 2. Add another 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. You get 4. Bring another 0 down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Common mistake, so you get 0.125. Common mistakes with long division with decimals, especially, are forgetting the placeholders. So when we said that 8 went into 10, we had to make sure that the 1 was right above that 0. When we said that 8 was going into 20, the 0 for the 20, which was the second 0, we needed that 2 directly above that 0. So please, please, please make sure we've got 0 placeholders. If you do division a different way, that's fine. This is my comfort zone, so this is how I do long division. If you do long division a different way, that's fine. This is the easiest way to change a fraction to a decimal every time. There are other ways that don't work every time. This way will work every time. For the second one, there's 2 ways to go about it. First is to say that I just want to divide 7 divided by 8. And I just want to worry about the fraction part. So 8 can't go into 7, so we put a 0 up top, decimal, decimal. 8 goes into 70 8 times. Notice that when I said 8 went into 70, just as a reminder, the 8 went above the 0 for 70. It didn't go above the 7. Those 0 placeholders are important. 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract and you get 6. Add another 0. Bring it down. 8 goes into 67 times. I said 8 went into 60. So that was the second 0 that I had brought down. So I make sure that the 7 goes above the second 0. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract, you get 4. Add a third 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Since the 0 for 40 was the third 0, the 5, to say that 8 goes into 40 5 times, the 5 has to be above that third 0. So the decimal we end up with is 0.875. 4 was the whole number on the mixed number, so therefore 4 is the whole number for the decimal. The other way to go about this problem and the long division is to first change it into a mixed number, and we do that by saying eight times 4 plus 7. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 7 is 39. So we have 39 over 8 as our improper fraction. Now we can go about and we can divide 39 divided by 8. 8 can't go into 3, so we put a 0 above the 3. 8 goes into 39 4 times. Again, 8's going into 39 4 times, so 8 has to go above the 9. The 4 has to go above the 9. You're always dealing with the ones digit when you're talking about placement of them. 4 times 8 is 32, which gives us 7. Add your decimal, add your 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 70. At this point, take note that down here where we have 8 going into 70 is the same thing we ended up here with 8 going into 70. So notice that by changing it to an improper fraction, you still end up with the same answer. that you did the first time, it's just done a different way. Again, if you know a different way to divide, that's fine, but just know that there's more than one way to divide this. Now let's take a look at the one that's a little bit easier, which is converting decimals to fractions. It is solely based on place value, meaning is it the tenths place, the hundredths place, the thousandths place, the 10,000ths place, and so on. Please, one helpful thing for this page would be for you to make a note of what your place value is as far as is it tenths, if that's the decimal, is it hundredths, is it thousandths, and so on. So just know that you may want to make a note of that somewhere on this page if you struggle with place value. So, for example, the first one, 9 is in the tenths spot. Since 9 is in the tenths spot, this means that your denominator is going to be 10. Now, we then take all the digits to the right of the decimal and we write them over our denominator, in this case 9. So 0.9 is 9 tenths. Taking a look at the second problem, or the second example, the 1 is in the hundredths spot, meaning that your denominator needs to be 100. And then all we do is look at all the digits to the right of the decimal, and that's going to be what goes in your numerator on top of the 100, and you get 0.71 is 71 over 100. Now, taking a look at 6.4, we should note that 4 is in the tenths spot. This means that your denominator is going to be 10. And we say that everything to the right of the decimal, everything to the right of the decimal is what goes over your denominator, so that'd be 4. In this case, just like on the previous page, the whole number in the decimal represented the whole number in the fraction. So therefore, for 6, or the whole number in the fraction represented the whole number for the decimal, it's true this way. So 6.4, 6 remains the whole number. So 6.4 is 6 and 4 tenths. If you're dying to simplify it, go ahead, but we're not at that point and we're not covering that. So you just get 6 and 4 tenths. For the last one, 2.35, the 5 is in the hundredths spot. So that means that 100 is your denominator. Everything to the right of the decimal is what goes on top, so that'd be 35. And then the whole number stays the whole number, so you get 2 and 35 over 100. Again, if you're dying to simplify it, go ahead, but you do not have to.